cocktail instruction concept. I go by the name of Ultra Cocktail, and I'm on Instagram working on launching a website in the next week, but basically in a test marketing phase right now. So I'm looking to get some feedback from you guys on what you think of my service here. So basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a sour. So we made it, try to make it as easy for you guys as possible by giving you several options for your base spirit. So I'm going to pull up a slide here, and we're going to have all of your ingredients presented right here. So if you look on the left, we're going to have basically the breakdown for the cocktail, the ingredients and all the equipment that you'll need. And then on the right-hand side, a breakdown of what citrus you'll need based on your choice of base spirit. So as far as that goes, basically we're using an ounce of citrus in whatever recipe it is that we decide to go with based on that base spirit, but you'll get your amounts for the lemon or lime or orange juice on the right-hand side there. So I'm going to give everybody some time to get everything together. I'm using bourbon, but you could be using vodka, gin, rum, or tequila. And then we have a simple syrup, which is equal parts sugar and water. We have lemon juice, lime juice, or orange juice, again, based on whatever spirit choice you made. You can refer to that chart. And then we have a whole egg. Finally, some Angostura bitters, and we'll get to that eventually. That's going to be our garnish. In terms of equipment, we've got a cocktail shaker. You may have a two-piece shaker like this one. You may also have the one that has the cap on top. Either one of those will work. And then you should have some sort of measuring device, whether it's a traditional bar jigger or a slanted measurer like this, something to measure out your liquids. Finally, we're going to put our finished cocktail into a rocks glass or a coupe glass if you have it. So this would be your rocks glass, just a shallow bucket, and then a coupe glass would be something more like a martini or a Nick and Nora style like this that's fluted towards the top. So I'll give everybody about 3 or 4 minutes to get their stuff together. One other thing, if you are using concentrated citrus, so if you have concentrated lemon or lime juice, I just ask that you dilute that because it is concentrated, and it's a little bit stronger and more acidic than fresh lemon or lime juice. So we're just going to take that concentrated juice and add an equal part of water to it. So we're just going to take maybe 2 ounces of the concentrated juice and 2 ounces of water, and mix those together so we can get a little bit closer to what a fresh lime juice or lemon juice would taste like. So again, we'll give you 3 or 4 minutes to get your things together, and then we'll get started with the instruction.
Up on your presenter screen. So we've got the ounce of lemon juice, or in the case of tequila, maybe an ounce of, or a half ounce of lemon, half ounce of lime. In the case of the rum, lemon and orange. So once we've got those 2 ingredients there, we can take the whole egg. And we're basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to crack the egg and just get the egg white into the tin. This can be a little tricky. So if you have a 2-sided tin, I want you to do it in the empty side. So we're just going to crack it down the center. The way that I do this, everybody kind of has different ways of separating. I basically take it and I split it into 2 halves like so, and then I'll just roll the yolk back and forth to separate the white from it. And then once we've got all the white in there, you can kind of set that egg yolk to the side. If you do have plans for brunch and you want to make some hollandaise, maybe you hold on to that. Okay, so now we should have a whole egg white, an ounce of citrus, and an ounce of simple syrup in this tin. So once everybody's got that, we'll give you like maybe 30 seconds so that we can get everybody caught up, and then we're going to start to make this drink. All right. It looks like everyone that's participating for the most part is pretty caught up. Okay, so now this is a 2-step drink, a whiskey sour or a sour in general. Basically, it's composed of 2 different shakes. So we're going to shake this drink twice. The first time we shake it, we're going to shake it with just these 3 ingredients. And essentially what we're doing is we're cooking the egg white with the citrus, with the acidity from the citrus, and creating sort of like a meringue or like an egg white foam, which is going to give this cocktail a nice creamy sort of velvety texture to it. So once you've got those 3 ingredients, the whole egg white, the ounce of citrus, and the simple syrup, we're going to connect this tin really well, like a really solid seal on there. You're going to grab it with both hands, and you're going to shake this, what's called a dry shake, for about 20 seconds. And you're going to do it as hard as you can without the shaker coming apart. And the harder you shake this, the better the egg white foam will be. We're basically just trying to agitate this mixture as much as possible. Once you feel confident that you have a pretty good foam, you'll start to notice that your shaker is going to start to come apart. You'll see in the bottom of the shaker there, we got a nice foamy meringue-like substance there. So from here, now we're going to get into our base spirit. We're going to take 2 ounces of the base spirit, and we're going to add it into preferably the empty side here, but it doesn't really matter. You can pour it on top of the foam. So 2 ounces of the base liquor there. And then we're going to take some ice. We're going to put a little bit of it into whatever glass we're using. If you're using a coupe or a martini glass, you won't need ice, but most of you are going to be making it on the rocks, so you want to put some ice into your rocks glass. And then once you've done that, we're going to take a couple more ice cubes, maybe 3 or 4 ice cubes, and drop them into the shaker tin. Reconnect the shaker, and now we're going to do our second shake, which is the wet shake, a traditional shake. So this one about 10 to 15 seconds to get it nice and cold. And it should be nice and frosty on the outside when you're done. I'm going to disconnect that. And then you're going to take your Hawthorne strainer, or if you have a julep strainer, the flat one without the spring, that'll work too. Get a nice seal over top. And then we're just going to strain that foamy mixture into the glass. Now finally, once you have that in the glass, we're going to take just some bitters and just put a couple drops on the glass. And again, this is just going to add, basically bitters are like the bartender's spice cabinet. So these are, this Angostura bitters in particular kind of has like a baking spice sort of profile to it. So cinnamon, clove, some heavy winter spices like that. So it adds a nice nose to the top of the drink. You can kind of play around with the design if you want to draw something with the bitters on there. And that'll do it. That's your whiskey sour. Gonna get it done really. So yeah, nice. And once you get a chance to taste this, you'll start to see why the egg foam is really adds a really great element to this drink. A whiskey sour or sour is really not the same without it.
Question on, you said now depending on the spirit that you pick, that's how you know whether to use the lime or the lemon?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that was again?
Yeah, so basically, if you're using whiskey, vodka, or gin, we'll just be using the lemon juice. But with tequila, lime is a juice that pairs really well with that agave flavor. So I just like to mix equal parts of the lemon juice and the lime juice. That way you get some of that agave and lime sort of combination that people love, right? So, and then with the rum, I like to do a little orange juice just because it kind of gives it that tropical sort of fruity sort of feel to it. It helps to have a dropper because then you can put like little drops in there. And then even better than this bar spoon is just a toothpick. You just take a toothpick and you kind of, or 2 toothpicks and just drag them across the bitters and it'll kind of like pull like lines, sort of like latte sort of art at the top. Foam here and the rest of the cocktail. And you got bitters kind of dotting it across the top. As you bring your nose to the drink, you're going to get all of those baking spices that come through. Doesn't affect the actual taste of the cocktail a whole lot. So if any of you are on Instagram and you want to follow, I have that up on the shared screen right now. So Ultra Cocktail, give me a follow if you would like to keep up with what we're doing and maybe book a class with us in the future.